coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. Whenever satisfaction is found, irrespective of the act, actualize it. These sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra are like chemical equations. You have to decode it, but we have learned to live in the dictionary meaning. The dictionary meaning is not going to help you at all, but we live life in dictionary meaning. This is the known realm. You know nothing about the realm of the awakened ones or Buddhas. You know nothing about their realm. His is the realm beyond the known. For instance, the dictionary meaning, there is a word called nonsense in dictionary. The dictionary meaning is rubbish, garbage, gibberish. You do not know the beauty of this word. Awakened one goes to the very essence of the word, essence of the seeker on whom he is working, explores the essence from deep within. For this he has to do a plastic surgery. To him the word comes from two separate words, non and other is sense. Ordinarily you join the words unconsciously to read the meaning, to read and mean a state below mind. Nonsense is a state below mind. Awakened one has looked into the essence of this word. He hypothesized the two separate words. Now, after Buddha surgery, I read the word hyphenated nonsense. Meaning changes totally because there is a hyphen between the two words, non and sense. Now it refers to the state beyond mind. First is below the mind, the second is above the mind. The second is the way of Buddhas. Walking along with him, you resist and react to. But a few steps that you have walked with him in harmony or disharmony will one day blossom like myriad flowers in the season of spring. This does not matter you are in harmony with him or not, whether you agree with him or not. His compassion is beyond all that. It is up to you now. Therefore, walk a few steps. You will find life will have a new fragrance from the unknown garden. These sutras are 112 in number. The entire science of meditation is encompassed in these. Again and again I have mentioned how Shiva explained these sutras to his consort Devi. She is sitting on his lap in a very loving manner with her head bent, looking upward at the face of Shiva, and in that loving gestures, she asks him certain questions. There are two ways of answering a question. The direct way, the dictionary way that you know, is to give a straight answer. But no question can be given a straight answer because there is a background why this question has arisen in an individual. So unless you know the cause, you will not be able to respond to it, and your response will not be beneficial. So he could have given the philosophical answer, but no, he does not. In response to each question, he gives a technique and says, follow this and you will know. This is here knowing which everything becomes known to you. Rather than giving you an answer to a straight mathematical problem, you are given the technique how to find the answer for similar problems when they arise in your life. People who are, in order to transform your life, you do not need, I do not ask you for a long 12 years of austerity, stringent austerity. Instead, 28 to 30 hours of focused, dedicated time. 28 to 30 hours of focused, dedicated time. People who were living 5,000, 2,000 years ago were much more smart than you and me. This is not in line with the evolutionary process. The evolutionary process says that one who comes after me will have evolved somewhat more, but the opposite happens. You read, you need to change the inner dimension. We have scientific technologies to change the outer life, but to change inner dimension, you not only need technological tools. These 112 tools are scientific technological tools, and these are the tools for inner engineering. Instead, and equally more important is logically correct manner and way with tools. Right now, everything of you is outward bound, including your all five senses. They open in the outer world of objects and beings. What does your eyes see? When you are passing through a market, the eyes see what is within you. The taste, you taste whatever is outside in front of you. So all these sense organs are outward bound, including everything. You cannot turn your eyeballs within to look inside. And the transformation or for inner engineering, you need to turn the sense organs withinwards. You need right tools and the way to use those tools. 5,000 years ago, Shiva gave 112 techniques for transformation, to turn the cognition inward. These are still incomprehensible to human cognition and intelligence. You need an awakened cognition to decode these words. The tools that I am talking about, they are subjective in nature. Subjective means they relate to your subjective realm, not the outer. You have a headache. This is somewhat objective, or you see an object. You want the very nature of things is your sense organs are outward bound. If I flick my finger, you hear the sound. If an ant crawls over your hand, you know it. But you cannot hear the much activity which is taking place within you, in your subjective realm. How much blood is flowing continuously? Can you feel it? No. To feel how much blood is flowing every moment, you need a subjective approach. If you want me to give you tools which I am sharing with you in order to be these tools to be beneficial as tools for transformation, you need to dedicate 28 to 30 hours of focused time and dedication. Can you? Are you ready for that? You come for these sessions when you have time, when you can spare some time. It is not that important to you. These talks is not a question of life and death for you. The moment it becomes life and death for you, the dedication comes in. If I do not listen to these talks, there is something that I miss. I do not grow. Because when you are listening to me, you are listening to me at my will and pleasure. When I am speaking, it is live streaming. Yes, although there are certain benefits that when you are listening to the recorded streaming talk, you are listening to it at your own pleasure. You are listening to the talk after it has been streamed, and all of a sudden a phone call comes in, you will take down, you will stop pause the talk and listen. So you have lost the continuity. While this is not possible when you are listening to the live streaming, there is an advantage and disadvantage both. When I am listening to these talks, I am listening as if I am listening it to the live streaming. But do you know what's the difference? If while listening to it, suddenly your husband, your wife calls or your children call, and you said, I'm listening to the talk. So what is wrong? What is so special about it? You can stop it and listen to it again. This is what happens. When it is live streaming, you have cut off all other activities. You come to as if you have come live in presence of the person, and you are listening to it. No other engagement at that time. This is the hour for my meditation, for the live streaming. When I am listening to these talks, that is a difference. If you can create the same effect while you are listening to the recorded streaming. You can be benefited by it. So focus and dedication are two things. Can you dedicate this 28 to 30 hours of focus time? We will give you tools to experience or touch your inner dimension, not of thoughts. Inward dimension is not thought and not contemplation. What do you know or call as body and mind are both outward. How the body is outward? What is the body is composed of? It is composed of, body is accumulation over a period of time. Mind too is an accumulation over a period of time, but both come into existence in different way. The soil that you walk on sits in your body. If you get it from me, it will transform. Otherwise, you will get it from the maggots. They will decompose everything and transform it, convert it into dirt. So while you are alive, you get it from an awakened one. So this is the body, comes from outward, it is accumulated, it is developed over a period of time. So is the mind. Mind is also an accumulation of impressions, conditionings. Impressions are both conditionings as well as thoughts from outside. Body is accumulation of food and mind is accumulation of impressions. Both come as heaps from outside. Between these two heaps of food and impression, somewhere there is something also which makes everything happen, both within the body and the mind. Between these two heaps of food and impression, there is something that makes everything happen within the body and within the mind. If that becomes your experience, then you will not need any scriptures or any guidance to get there. I am not asking a long period of 12 years of austerity. Instead, just 30 hours of your focus time. So many times you have asked for tool. For you, it may sound like a cup of tea. The moment you are ready to pay the price in terms of your dedication and focus time, these tools will become alive for you, for your inner transformation and inner engineering. The second sutra in that says, wherever satisfaction is found, in whatever act, actualize this. Very precise. Whatever satisfaction is found in whatever act, actualize this. Let us take a very basic act. You are thirsty. You feel thirsty, which is normal. Everyone does. And when you feel thirsty, you drink water. What happens there? Your thirst is quenched. But there comes a subtle satisfaction. Forget the water, forget the thirst, remain with the subtle satisfaction that you are feeling after drinking that cup of water. Be filled with it. Simply feel satisfied, but it does not happen. As soon as, even while drinking the water, you are watching something on this television screen or doing something else. So mind is mischievous. It can only feel dissatisfactions and discontent. Whenever there is something wrong, you know it. When everything is going smoothly, you do not know. It never feels satisfaction. It never feels contented. If you are dissatisfied, you will feel it, and you will be filled with it, that dissatisfaction or discontent. When you are thirsty, you feel it. The moment you are filled with the thirst, you feel it in your throat, you feel it all around. But when the thirst is satiated, if it grows, if the discontent, the thirst increases, you feel it more and you want to drink the water immediately, because this thirst, you are feeling it all over the body. And a moment comes when it is not that you are thirsty, you will feel that you have become the thirst. If you are in a desert and there is no hope of getting water, you will not feel that. You will not feel you are thirsty. You will feel that you have become the thirst. It is a question of life and death. Dissatisfactions, discontentments are felt, miseries are felt, pains are felt. Whenever you suffer, you become the suffering. That is why the whole life becomes hell. You have never felt positive. You have always felt negative. Feeling the pain, but not when pain has gone. You forget. Life is not such a misery as we have made it. Misery is just an interpretation. Buddha is happy here and now, in this very life. There may be discontent, there may be things not happening your way. That doesn't matter. What really matters is here and now. I am alive, I am moving, the breath is coming in. That is most important. And when you feel something, for the awakened one, that felt that there is something not right with you, this is your seeing your own reflection in the mirror of the awakened one. A Buddha is happy here and now. A Krishna is dancing and playing the flute, playing on the flute. In this very life, here and now, where we are in misery, Krishna is dancing. There is moonlight. You may think that insecurity in being in the open space. Life is neither misery nor is life bliss. Bliss, both bliss and misery, is our interpretations, our attitudes, our approaches, how we look at it. It is your mind how it takes. A particular circumstance or situation may be blissful for you, whereas the same thing for someone else may be of misery. It is all depends on your interpretations. Remember and analyze your own life. Have you taken account of happy moments, of contents, of satisfaction, or blissful glimpses? Have you taken any note? But you have taken every account of your pain, suffering, misery, and what you do, you go on accumulating it. But the moments of fulfillment, satisfaction, as if that doesn't matter to you. So what? But the misery, your whole investment is in misery, pain and suffering. You go on accumulating these miseries, pain and sufferings. Buddha does not. You are an accumulated, this way, you are an accumulated hell. And this is your own choice. You go on accumulating the moments of pain, suffering and misery and narrate it. Have you ever kept an account of blissful moments? No one else is forcing you into this state that you have created around you. This is your own choice of accumulating the hells, accumulating the pain and suffering. Everyone you talk, he talks about his misery, he talks about suffering, he talks about his pain. Pain is here, this side is paining, that is paining. Have you ever heard or have you ever remembered or narrated your blissful moments? And this is a self-perpetuating misery. The more negates, the more negatives you have within your mind, the more negative you become. The more negatives you accumulate in this, and the more negatives you will accumulate in the same manner, because you remember similar attracts the similar, and this has been for lives and lives together. You miss everything because of this negative approach towards life. This technique gives you a positive approach, total reversal of your ordinary mind and its process. Whenever satisfaction is found in whatever act, it does not say when you are going to the temple you get satisfaction, or when you are in act of sex then you get satisfaction. No. Even small things, drinking water, you get satisfaction. Whenever satisfaction is found, irrespective of act, actualize it, feel it, become one with it. Don't take it just a passing phase. The satisfaction can become a glimpse of a greater positive existence. Everything is just a window. If you become identified with pain, you are looking through the window of pain. Then window of pain, then you look at everything through the window of pain. You find this one, I find that something is wrong with you. Because you are looking at me from the window of pain and suffering, which you have created around your own structure. How do you look at the world? You need a vision. You need a window. If you want to look outside, you go to the window and you look through the window. And if pain is your window, if suffering is your window, if dissatisfaction is your window, everything you will see miserable. Wherever you see, you are looking from a window, the window of pain, of suffering, opens only towards hell. If you are one with a satisfactory moment, a blissful moment, an ecstatic moment, you are opening another window. Then you will find everything is blissful. The existence is the same. What the aperture through which you are looking at, what is the aperture, what is the window in the structure that you are? Your eyes, not the eyes. Through the eyes, the conditioning, through the eyes that you have accumulated in your mind, that becomes the window, that becomes your perception. Whenever satisfaction is found in whatever act, actualize this. No conditions. Wherever you see a friend, you feel happy. You meet your lover, your beloved, feel happy. Actualize this. Become the happiness, not become happy. Become the embodiment of happiness. There is a difference, feeling happy and becoming the embodiment of happiness. Then it creates an aura around you, a glow around you, because happiness has become your nature, and makes that happiness, and make that happiness a door, a window. Then you are changing the mind, and you will start accumulating the moments of happiness. Your mind will turn positive, and the same world will look different to you. There was a Zen monk, master. His name was Bokuzu. It is reported to have said, Bokuzu said, the world is the same, but nothing is the same because the mind keeps on changing. One moment you come out of the house, you are happy, next moment you are unhappy. Has anything changed in the outer world? No. The world is the same, but nothing is same because the mind changes. Everything remains the same, but nothing is the same because you are not the same. You go on trying to change the world. No matter what you do, the world will remain the same because you have not transformed. You can get a bigger house, you can get a luxurious and bigger car, you can get a more beautiful wife or a husband, but nothing will change. The bigger house will not be bigger. Beautiful wife or husband will not be more beautiful. The bigger car will remain the same smaller one because you have not changed. If you are changed, the same thing will become beautiful. Your mind, your approach, your ways of seeing remains the same. The inner engineering means your perception has to change. You go on changing the things. You want to change this and that, but you are not changing yourself. So only a miserable person leaves a hut and moves to a palace, but the misery within remains the same. He was miserable in a hut, and now he will be miserable in the palace as well, because misery may be palatial, but he will remain miserable. You go on carrying your misery with you wherever you go, and wherever you move with yourself. So no outer change is basically a change. It is just an appearance. You're buying a bigger, more luxurious car or a bigger house is just an outer appearance. If the inner change takes place, then the same thing will become more beautiful for you. You simply feel that there has been a change, but that is not the real change. The only change, the only revolution, the only mutation can be there, and that is the inner change of your mind from negative to positive. If your outlook is focused on misery, you will live in hell. If your outlook is focused on happiness, the very hell will become heaven for you. So those who give you the idea that heaven and hell is outside, they know nothing about it, and they are simply giving you wrong information. Heaven and hell is that which you create around you. If your outlook is focused on misery, you have created a hell around. If your outlook is focused on happiness, the hell will transform into heaven. Try this. This will change the very quality of your life, the entire perspective. But you are interested in quantity only. You are interested how to get rich, quantity wise, not in quality. Qualitatively are you rich, or quantitatively you are rich? You can have 2 houses, 2 cars, a bigger bank balance, many things. Quantity changes, but not the quality. It becomes more and more, but your quality remains the same. And richness is not of the things. Richness is of quality of your mind, of your life. Even a poor man can be rich. As far as quality is concerned, and even a rich man can be poor. Almost this is the case. Because a person concerned with things and quantity is totally unaware of a different dimension, is there within him the dimension of quality. And that dimension changes only when your mind is positive, turns inward. But we go on. From tomorrow morning, for the whole day, remember this. Whenever you feel something beautiful, satisfactory, something blissful, and there are moments in every 24 hours day, be aware of it. There are many moments when heaven is very near to you. It has descended, but you are attached and involved with the hell. That you go on missing it. The sun rises, the flowers open, the birds sing, the breeze blows rustling through the tree leaves. None of these things bring anything in you. It is happening. A small child looks at you with innocent eyes, and a subtle feeling of bliss enters into you, or something smiles and you feel blissful. Does it happen to you? Look around and try to find blissful. Be blissful. You will become, your life will transform. Only this much for this morning. Until we meet again, take care and do have a pleasant day.